as more of a bonding exercise between the Koreans and the Indians, because when we
Mm-hmm.
left them to a place wherein nothing is there except a group of only 20 people, where there is no mobile network, no TV, nothing. It is just you who have to communicate for the next 5 days.
Okay.
So I think that is more meaningful and more adventurous.
Today on our show, we have an amazing guest, Mr. Navneet Aluwalia, who has worked in the role of an HR for more than 16 years in various cross-cultural organizations, right from LG, TCS, JK, Panasonic, Fujifilm, etc. A Fithophilus man whose place of refreshment is his own place of more than 500 plants, and if not a head HR, he would surely be a top chef. Hello everyone, this is Nafisa from Simply Body Talk and I welcome you all to our show Non-Verbal Champion. And today on our show, we have our esteemed guest, Mr. Navneet. Mr. Navneet, it's a pleasure to have you at our show.
Thank you.
You have worked with companies like Panasonic, Fujifilm, etc. So how is the working culture different from that of other Indian companies?
The Indians, they're too much focused on the task, how it is to be completed, and they're caring also. Koreans are hardcore taskmasters and too much result oriented and target driven. Japanese, you know, during our college times, we always used to study between an American working culture and a Japanese working culture.
Yes.
So American was more of I, and Japanese was more of we. This is what I experienced also. Like in Japan, you know, it's more of a teamwork which always goes through. They are more detailed oriented, which Koreans are also, but Japanese by nature they are very warm, and they understand the people issues as well, and it is easier with them to collaborate and kind of partner with them for work. Because during my stay at Panasonic also, I was actually handling I was coordinating from the India front to the corporation Japan, the L&D agenda also. So I had a regular interaction with them, so I could find them more reasonable and understanding in terms of what actually is the situation and how we are going to do. Right. So I would not call them as very aggressive as compared to the Koreans, but yes, good to work with them.
Okay. And how do multinational companies try and maintain the local flavor when it comes to people management?
Basically the multinationals which are in India, you know, since the majority of them have the Indian workforce only, and be it a Japanese or an American or a Korean company, they will always have certain representatives in India, you know, the expats. So the job is basically to bridge a gap between the parent organization and the Indian organization. So they act as an advisor or as a mediator or as a channel between the India and the parent company to ease out the communication process, so that whatever is the expectations from the headquarters, they are able to cascade it down in the India in a much better way, because they understand the country situation also. So that is how they maintain that kind of communication channels.
Okay. And how is communication between the main company and the local setup managed by you as the HR?
See, what I feel generally, as I said, you know, the Japanese are good to work with. They understand more. What I find, as per me, the best way to deal with the proper communication is more through a visual impact rather than more of a verbal communication, because not everything will be understood by me or by them. It's either ways. So whatever I do, I prefer to do it in a presentation format or something through visuals, so that it is easier to present our agenda and make them understand through images, rather than everything, talking over phone or a hangout call. But I think the effective strategy is more in terms of presenting it through pictures, through data, through stats, or even if it is related to a real-time pictures. For example, uh, we do a lot of activities of engaging people. We were doing it in Panasonic also. We are doing it in Fujifilm also. So everywhere it is being done. Now, whenever you have to report that to the headquarters or make them aware what exactly are we doing, simply writing that will not make any difference. It is basically the real-time images which are there. You present them so that they are able to connect better that how this is being done, and the understanding is very clear in that case. So the crux is it's more of a visual management.
Okay. And when you say about presenting, do you do it face to face via video, or how does it happen?
Well, see, I would say I have Japanese advisors here as well. So the most preferred way is to have a face-to-face communication through presentations or through any data. But in the current context, wherein few of my expats are still in Japan and they have not come back yet, our mode is more of a hangout call. But we keep it very limited at times because a face-to-face communication is much better to make the other person more understanding in terms of whatever we are asking for, and take his or her views as well. Because when it's a multicultural or a multi-country interaction happening, you need to be very cautious. What exactly are we presenting it? Because the other side of it may not understand it completely during that point in time. So my personal preference is to have a face-to-face communication.
Okay. And how about hiring in the leadership team? Is it done locally or by international leaders?
Leadership positions are being done locally itself, but yes, they're being interviewed by the managing director who's Japanese.
Okay. So while they are being done, does the international leaders, they try and understand body language of the Indians with whom they are interacting for the very first time during the whole interview process?
Okay, so in that case, the role of HR plays a vital role here, because they do understand, but they do more of a functional check in terms of what experience this person has and what he has done. But we as an HR have to play a vital role in terms of giving these kind of inputs also to our Japanese counterpart in terms of what exactly he or she is trying to say. Because there is always a challenge in terms of the local English language and the way the Japanese speak English. So it is our duty to make both of them more understandable and come at a common platform. And also, apart from our Japanese colleagues, it is our duty also to read the body language and what exactly is he trying to say, and then giving proper input to the Japanese also. They also try to understand to their best of the understanding, but more focus is on the task part, and the softer aspect is what we look at.
Simply Boy Talk provides comprehensive solutions to cross-cultural teams so that the communication between the teams is smooth and the teams are able to decode and understand each other's nonverbal communication. This enables them to increase connectivity between the teams, enabling them to function smoothly and thus resulting in higher productivity. Time for some rapid fire. Now, this is going to be a very interesting game because I'll be saying you some words one by one, and whatever thing I see you getting all ready for the game. And whatever word I'll tell you, whatever thing comes first to your mind, you'll be just speaking it out. It's as simple as that. Do we start? Okay. Human resource.
Me.
Okay, you have to be very quick at it. You do not get time to think, okay? Whatever thing comes first to your mind. Smartphone.
Apple.
Social media.
Insta.
Meeting.
Hangout.
Phone call.
Phone call.
Yes.
Longer ones.
Fashion.
Lower and a tracksuit and a sport shoes.
Communication.
Must.
Hunger.
Always.
Cooking.
Passion.
Lazy.
Sorry?
Lazy.
Never.
Gardening.
Always.
Work.
Important.
Navneet. Okay. You also have been actively involved, in a lot of engagement activities. Even you mentioned. So could you share some, thing on the same? On how was it when you were doing it with the Koreans or with the Japanese or with the Indians? How was it?
See, it is more to do with, it takes a lot of time in terms of creating this entire setup where such kind of activities are not there, because it is, to the world, it may be an engagement, but for an organization, it is more of a cultural change. An organization which was not having any kind of a setup in terms of engaging their people through different activities. But when you try to do that, there is a lot of reservations coming in from many of the corners here. Because if I tell you my experience specifically in the Japanese organization, in Japan, such activities are not very much there, because they're more focused, and it's more of Indians by and large are more extroverts, and they try to be with the people every time, right? But on the other side of it, they are little more reserved, and they don't gel along quite well, in the sense they will be limited, majority of them, in self-reading books, listening to their own books or everything. But Indians are more outward. That is why this lockdown has created more patients of depression and psychology issues, because everybody was at home rather than people sitting at home and doing some kind of quality work. So in when I was actually kind of starting these activities, there were a lot of questions asked, that why, what is the need of it, how does celebrating an employee birthday will impact positive result in the company, or what will it do if you are actually rewarding a person. So I have to make them convinced that these people spend almost 8 to 10 hours a day in the office, which is even more than what they spend at home, right? So it is nothing but it's their second home. And even if they take out about 5 minutes of their time out of their work schedule, their mind will be at some relaxed state, and they'll be able to contribute much better.
Okay. And as you mentioned, that Japanese are kind of reserved people. I would be more interested to know, how did you start interacting with them in the very first place? Like when you were transferred to this role and it was the Japanese whom you wanted to interact with, how was your experience?
One is out of work, obviously, when it is related to work, both the parties will interact. I will also interact, and that person will also interact. I can share with you one actual life experience. I was traveling to Kyoto, which is in Japan, and that's more of a very religious city in Japan. A lot of temples there. So I was there for about 8-10 days, but I went on a Sunday to Kyoto to visit that. So I was traveling from a place called as Hirakata. It is basically an up countryside area which is near to Osaka. So from there I had to travel almost an hour in the train to reach to Kyoto. Now while I was sitting in the train, I could see almost in that bogie almost about 100 Japanese were there, and nobody was talking to each other. No one. In fact, either they had earplugs in their ears, listening to music, or just reading, or just sleeping. And while I was talking to my Japanese counterpart, by nature or by origin of the country, my voice was a little louder. So when I was actually trying to speak to him, what is happening? Why are they not talking to each other? So he said it is like that only, and everybody started looking at me because my pitch was higher.
Okay.
I just saw that, in that 1 hour of journey, the way they were sitting in that chair of the car, of the train, they were like that only. right? But on the other hand, if you look at your suburban trains and everything, wherein people would play, people would chit chat, people would laugh, people would fight, no such thing.
Okay. So at last, some words of inspiration which you would like to give to our audience.
I have just one belief that, in fact, this happened during this lockdown, and I shared that on my LinkedIn also. That what if something is not there as of now, whether it is, you're not able to go out, you're not able to party, you're not able to go to the clubs, you're not able to meet your relatives in good times or during bad times also. But I always have a belief that just like good times don't last too much, even the bad times will not, and things will be normal again. You just have to stay positive. That's all.
Okay. Thank you so much for your interview. You have no clue. I've enjoyed this interview so much, having fun, giggling all the time during the interview. And thank you so much for your insights. I hope you enjoyed the same.
Yeah, definitely. My daughter is sitting right next to me, and she's been listening to whatever I was saying actually. But
Wow.
and she was playing, and she wanted to do something which I said, don't disturb me right now, and she was sitting very patiently, so that the moment my interview get over, she will back to her craziness again.
Okay. Okay, so you are truly a non-verbal champion. We have got amazing insights today. And people, our audience, whoever is watching this, I hope you all enjoyed the interview, are seeing the interview, and are enjoying as much as I am. Please do like and subscribe on our channel for such amazing content. And yes, till then, this is Nafisa from Simply Body Talk signing off. Thank you so much.